Hello there everybody, so Butternight's Hammer, and welcome to the results of the voting poll. What shall take Fate Stay Night's place? Now then, apparently I should not have had the voting last as long as I did because the voting kind of got a little out of hand in terms of how many people voted, which I don't mind there being a lot of people participating and all that, but maybe I should have just left it to a 1 or 2 day thing. So in that case, immediately I'll apologize, and for future voting polls, they will only last 2 days. That'll be the limit. So, what wins? Tokyo Babel, Steins Gate, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, or Hyperdimension Neptunia? And the results are... oh my god. Holy good lord! 260... that may be the largest amount of votes I think I have ever received. Holy crap, though. Tokyo Battle and Steins Gate were so close. Damn. Well, guys, it looks like the winner is Tokyo Battle. Wow. 102 votes, 94 votes, 48 votes, 22. Wow. That's more than I was expecting. Well, it looks like the winner is Tokyo Battle. Now I gotta figure out how to get it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's get on to the video. Hello everybody, so Butternight's Hammer, and welcome back to Higurashi. Holy shit, it has been a while since I've been into this little land of Hinamizawa, but thankfully I should have everything working, which means there will be voices and there will be altered sprites. As you can tell by the background, everything should be fine. Now then, before we actually begin, from what I've been told, I need to go ahead and just try to gather my theories concerning Watanagashi, because I believe this one's supposed to reveal some answers about that. Well, immediately my first thought is, let's see, Watanagashi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, introduced Shion, supposedly Mion's sister. Now, immediately from the first moment I saw her, something's not right. Just, something did not seem right to me about her. Now, I don't even know how to explain it, but really the only theory I've got at the moment, I'm pretty sure as more stuff pops up, I'll try to talk more about it. But I have this theory. I don't know if it's true or not. But, please don't tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong. Just saying that out right there, right now. Avoid spoilers at all costs. Anyway, my theory I have is that Shion and Mion are switched. Because, I don't know, from what I could see, every time Shion was on screen, she seemed extremely cocky, and Mion always seemed incredibly flustered. Well, what if Mion was Shion, and Shion was Mion? But I'm still going to call them Shion and Mion. So, another reason I kind of thought, I was thinking about this, like, they kind of mentioned how those two are so alike, they can easily portray the other. Well, near the end of Watanagashi, whenever Keiichi was it was in that storage shed, I believe. No, wait, it was the, oh god, what was it? It had all those tools in it, and Shion was locked up. Mion kept muttering, she kept saying, in like, almost like third person, how, saying all these terrible things about Shion. Just the way she worded it just seemed a little off to me, and that kind of made me think that, well, what if Mion was actually Shion, and that the one in the cell was the real Mion? I don't know. Anyway, we've been holding off on this for far too long. Oh god, that looks neat. Let's jump right back in. Maekashi, beloved cutthroat. Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi when they cry, Kai. Cry, Kai. Cry, Kai. Kai, cry, I don't know. We've finally reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrator. I imagined as much. Oh, I'm excited. It's been so long since I've done this. She dropped her beads in the sand. So the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sand. So the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean. So the girl cried. How many years will pass before the girl wanders if she really dropped them? This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is entirely coincidental. And of course that quote was by Frederica Bernkastel. Alright. 7 keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key, one by one. On average, I reached the correct key within 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys. And I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only on the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness. My head ached from it. I put the key in and turned it. I just needed to repeat that small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn. Even a 3-year-old kid can do something this easy. So, am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Who are we going through? Whatever. I don't care if I'm clumsy. I just need to try all these keys. Even in the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try. What's the voice? Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than my worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. Did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely see a faint marking that says this set is for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there were no other choice, it'd be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administration office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. I won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. I stood up quickly as if electrified. I was almost in a panic and still felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be here, and it's also dangerous if somebody comes into the administration office. I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible to repress my fear. Calm down, Oh, that's right, we are supposed to be in her perspective. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? The next moment, I felt a faint vibration in the air. Somebody was walking somewhere in the hallway. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them since the footsteps were very far away. But at the time, I couldn't think calmly. Shit. Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down. Calm down. I should be feeling excited instead. Calm down, calm down. I just need to do what I have to do. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Shit. This key should be hard and cold, but it's pliable and hot. It feels like rubber. How could I stick this into the keyhole? Shit. It wasn't the key that was pliable. It's my fingers that were limp. Shit. The key sprung out of my hand and fell to the floor. It shouldn't have made any sound, because it was so pliable, but it made a tremendous metal noise as if somebody pushed over a cupboard. Cling! The sound almost stopped my heart. I felt dizzy for a while. I looked around afterwards to carefully see if I caused any disturbance to the surroundings. Calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? Calm down. Oh, wait. I don't hear anything? What about those footsteps in the distance? Calm down. Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Shit, what is that sound I'm hearing? Is it my sweat dripping on the floor? Shut up. How could I hear the sound of my sweat? Calm down. Calm the fuck down! I have to clarify. This isn't a prison or a detention center. It's a private school. Not a normal one, though. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. Being for girls only, rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying, "How nice to see you," instead of just "hi" is already insane. And calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. I hate the morning and evening prayers, to say nothing of the Sunday Mass. I don't want to memorize the Bible passages, and the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. If I stayed in this institution, that's what I call this place, for many years, I'd rather go crazy or be brainwashed. Most of the girls chose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God which the Bible teaches. Because of that, I've been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So, why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later? After examining my emotions, I realized that I completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending became fun once I'd set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me, with smiles, that it was God's influence that I started to behave religiously. I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight, because there were many daughters of important people living there. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders ironically also worked to prevent escapees. But that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. No matter how hard they tried to brainwash me, I'd never change. I've been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible obstacles and trained myself. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes. Even the long-distance runs. I needed a perfect plan, as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also, supported by those things, I needed determination. Well, play Undertale then. I made sure that I had all I needed, and executed the plan. I decided to plant a seed in school before the appointed day. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into the details now, but that can turn into an enormous problem in the school. The school is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kinds of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. If the romance was a fact and was leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame. In fact, even that might not be enough. I don't know, really? I think it's just an exaggeration, obviously. In the world of girls, rumor spreads fast. That's for sure. Especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. Well, okay then. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of that kind of rumor, and they warn the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently, they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means that I managed to make them furtively deal with something shady, without contacting families or the authorities. So, if I disappeared in these circumstances, it'd look like I ran away for some teacher. All the male teachers would deny it, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. After all, there's a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all the other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. Smart. I tried hard to spread the rumor that I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible. The sisters questioned me a few times, but since the romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. After 3 months, I was certain that I created a solid foundation. I swapped after-dinner duties with my classmates so that I could adjust my schedule on this day. I was even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect I ran away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to a sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour tops. But that's enough for me. I took a step off my regular route. That was the first step toward my great escape. I calmed down and thought, the key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I put the right one in, but the lock was just stiff and I only thought I got the wrong one? I realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingertips must be getting in the way too. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought of giving up, I felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. I slowly opened the door. I could hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now, but somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. I can still make excuses up to this point. It might look awkward, but I still can. But if I take a step outside now, there can be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have been escape attempts before. Damn. You know, it's funny. I hear so much about freaking private schools, and none of them are good. And this always seems to be a thing about students trying to escape. Are private schools really that bad? That's not really so strange. Well, I mean, actually, now that I think about it, I could use Angie's circumstances as an example, but I'm talking real life. Are real life private schools that bad? I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people before who couldn't fit in this place. So the school is well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while attempting to escape. I don't want to believe any of those stories, though. You see, all the school's horror stories involve students who attempted escapes. Oh. Whatever. Bring it on. I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway. There'll always be one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I psyched myself up and pushed the door open. A strong smell was hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? I'd never smelled this strong, grassy smell before. Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. This smell is something I smell every day. I just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Oh! First CG! Calm down. Calm down, Shion. I can rely only on the map inside my head from this point onward. I'd researched the locations of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident that I'll be able to avoid all of them. But I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly, after all. I had to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places, but there's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. I concentrated to keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move, if I'm lucky. Damn! After all that effort, it just boils down to luck? This is a gamble after all. When I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test the determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape from this school, that meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. I'm going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes, Shion. I ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't bugs. It was my own heartbeat. Even my own footsteps were so loud they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overreactive imagination tormented me with premonitions of unexpected run-ins with guards. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. But if I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running around at a time in a place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. But if the footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on even letting them hear those footsteps. I tried to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I didn't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried that my senses might not be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me without me being aware of it. I didn't want to make any noise, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. To stop or to run, something within urged me to choose from either one. I can't choose to stop. I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I know that. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. I succeeded in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and carefully tackled the final step. The beautiful-looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapes. While I was worried that somebody might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It's even possible that this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. It doesn't mean anything now since I'm already climbing up. From the top, the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to go down carefully, just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. I got scared because the flight was longer than I expected. I didn't land beautifully. I fell onto my butt. There was nobody around to laugh, and I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes till 8 p.m. It was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really made it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I worried too much. But I can't be too relaxed just yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible that they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous. Rendezvous? Who are you meeting up with? I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. I thought I'd experience a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. That sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of this school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine, Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in. The driver was a man of early old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned that I succeeded. He smiled. Oh, thank goodness the voices do work. I should have realized that the moment the guy actually talked, but God. I was a little scared at the beginning because I thought I didn't hear anything. Okay, good. The voices are working.
上品なお料理ばかりが出てると聞いてましたが、シオンさんにだけは麦飯が出ていたんですか？
バカ、そんなわけないでしょ。冗談に決まってるじゃない。ほら、笑ってる暇があったらとっととアクセルを吹かす。
はいはい、仰せのままに。
I'm gonna go ahead and point this out. This does, I mean, I should have noticed it, but, I know it's a different country and all that, but I am not used to seeing a car with the steering wheel on the right side. I am not used to that. Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. Kasai? The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quick that I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Serves you right. As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and few streetlights. It reminded me that this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe. No, let's fix this. Let's, adjust our configuration. There we go.
どこか飯の食えるところに寄りましょうか。
食事してるからいい。
I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat much dinner to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory.
この時間ですから、高速に上がってしまうとサービスエリアへ寄っても自販機しかないですよ。まあ、最近はハンバーガーとかの自販機もありますけどね。そうそう、聞いた話では最近じゃおでんの自販機もあるって話です。
Hamburger vending machines. Are you sure we're not in America?
はあ？何それ？コーヒーの自動販売機みたいに器がポロッと出てきて押したボタンの具がボトボトっと落ちてくるわけ
？Coffee vending machine? Shit, I want one of those.
気持ち悪い。
そういうのじゃないらしいですよ。
Although now that I think about it, it just probably make me think about those gas station coffee brewers. Those aren't bad, actually.
おでんの缶詰になってるそうで、それがゴロンと出てくるらしいんです。
あ、ごめん。缶詰の
缶詰、もう子供じゃないでしょうね。
嫌なもんは嫌なの。うっさいな。もう何笑ってんの？
Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative.
私疲れちゃったよ。少し寝させてもらいます。これ、リクライニングどうやって倒すの？
I don't know, there should be a lever off to the left side.
そっちの左側の根元を探ってみてください。
Called it.
レバーみたいなのがありませんか？
うん、あったあった。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai laughed again.
何か面白いこと私した？
いえいえ、よっこらしょなんていう若くない言葉遣いがことなくミオンさんに似ておられたもん。
Well, obviously, Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way. See, that's why I'm kind of on this. That's why I'm kind of on this theory about them switching places.
多分元気かと。私も親族会議の席に親父さんをお連れするときに少しすれ違う程度ですし。
そっか。お姉はもう実家じゃないんだってね。南沢のばあさんのとこだっけ？
シオンさんが学園に入られるのと一緒の時期に園崎本家に移られました。
I responded with disinterest even though I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oryu, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. But when we use the phrase the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. When Kasai refers to what Kasai refers to is the same thing.
少しは変わった？
ミオンさんがですか？
そう。あのばあさんと朝から晩まで顔を合わせてりゃ少しは変わるでしょ。
Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma.
私が見る限り変わったようには感じません。シオンさんの知っているミオンさんのままですよ。
私はどう？私は変わった？
いいえ、全然。
Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers that this quickly. I glared at him, and then he burst out laughing.
全然変わっておられませんよ。あれだけのお嬢様学校に入られたのに全く変わらないというのは驚くに値します。
好きなだけ笑ってろ。私は寝るよ。寝る。
Good night.
後ろの席に毛布がありますよ。使ってください。
うん、ありがとう。
I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself.
寝る。私は寝るよ。
はいはい、さっきからもう3回目です。それとも私が許可しないと寝れないんですか？
今日のあんたが喋りすぎ。あんたが少し黙っててくんないと眠気も引っ込んじゃう。
You keep prompting him to talk!
失礼しました、姫君。ではしばらく黙らせてもらいます。
This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okinomiya. Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the dam protests back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever find out what I did, I'd never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Hinamizawa would be off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. It was a war. We dismembered a couple people, we're fine. It might have also been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the SWAT team with everybody. We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members, even though they were a stranger to me, and that memory warms my heart. Yes, the way I felt back then was like helping everyone to carry a sacred palanquin? What is that word? Through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together. Until we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remembered accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. It didn't feel any different, though, than when I was called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. The other villagers were furious about the dam project. But for those of us who were kids at the time, it's a pretty fun memory. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only the power of the protest that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it's said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson in order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yagouchi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated. But they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They'd do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Gah! The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. It must have run over a bump or something. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. I must be looking forward to going home.
シオンさん、起きてますか？
何？
お帰りですが、沖宮でよろしいですよね。
他にどこに帰んのよ。
I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
シオンさんを全寮制の学園に入学させる決定は園崎本家当主が下したものです。シオンさんはその学園を抜け出した。どういうことかお分かりですね。
ばあさんの決めた学校が私に合わなかったってだけでしょ。
I wonder why, though.
シオンさん。
合ってるって。
Probably because she wasn't fit to be the head of the next head of the Sonozaki clan, I bet.
さいな。
Which actually, now that I think about it, that would give her some motive to doing what she did. As the head of the Sonozaki family, the head's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. Shion was the name they gave me. My sister, Mion, has a character that means demon in her name. That was to signify that she's the successor of the demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has a character that means temple in it. This means that I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. It's kind of a dick move. Thinking of that reminds me how much I hate this name of mine. Ah! It's going what I was... This is just piling on more about my theory about Shion and Mion, or Shion switching places with Mion. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family, because it meant the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. What the fuck? Unbelievable, isn't it? What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me. We're twins. There are no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day, they created an undeniable, clear distinction between Mion and Shion. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag and to learn how to become the successor, and I was to be confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objection to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel that having to learn about and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. So I'm not going to be a threat to the family, even if I'm back in Okinomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of an evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okinomiya, where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't remember it much. And I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Okinomiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there.
沖宮の町へ帰れば親族の誰かの目に触れることになります。やがては必ず本家の知るところになります。
ばあさんの耳に入ったらどうなるかってこ まあそりゃやばいことにはなるかもね。
お分かりならいいんですがね。
なーにカサイ、あんた今から私に引き返してあそこへ戻れって言ってるわけ？
まさかそんなことは言いませんよ。私が言いたいのは、
相応の覚悟はあるんだろうなってことでしょ。
口先だけでなく本当に理解してるんならいいんですがね。
まあそうだろうね。万が一の時は脱走の手伝いをした葛西も責任は免れないだろうしね。葛西も小指に未練があるなら今のうちに小指にいっぱいキスをしておいた方がいいんじゃない？
その時はシオンさんもすまきにされて鬼が淵沼に放り込まれるくらいの覚悟をしてくださいよ。
Morbid joking.
ああ、あるいは本家離れの秘密部屋送りかも。
They have a torture room in the garden? I hear there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. I've never seen it, though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there. It's just awful, really. I hope I don't end up as a victim of that place.
はいはい。ま、なんとかなるって。
つくづくシオンさんは姉さんに似ている。その出たとこ勝負的なところが特にです。
そりゃ似るでしょう。実際の母親だもん。
My dad and mom will be furious if they find out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza. He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now. I also heard he has tons of scars. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka a drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle, though my dad took the lead in the end. Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. Aww. Oh! I can tell that from the way he acts. So this is what he looks like. He's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and then. It kind of gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Okinomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up in a futon mat and thrown into the swamp for real too. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. I'm going to Okinomiya and nowhere else. That's my hometown. This might be a kind of homesickness, but I don't care what it looks like.
実際どうするつもりです。園崎一族の目はそこいら中にありますよ。
Ain't that the truth?
まあ最初はのんびり隠れながら過ごします。仮に姿を見られたってミオンだって言い張ればいいんだしね。
それから
Oh, and then she'll fuck with Keiichi's love life with Mio.
で、ほとぼりが冷めてきたら私に近しい親類から徐々に打ち明けていく。私に味方になってくれる人たちだってそこそこにいるからね。私も親父と大喧嘩した時、あちこちでいろんな人にかくまってもらったし。
Really?
なるほど。味方と既成事実を十分に作り上げてから最終的には園崎本家にもおめこぼしをもらおうというつもりですね。
fait accompli?
うまくいきますかどうか。
行くって。そもそも私を学園送りにする決定だって結構みんな反対してくれてたもんね。あれは私をやたらと嫌ったばあさんの猜疑心からの決定みたいなもんだったし。 葛西もそう思うでしょ。
ええ、まあ私もあの決定にはさすがにやりすぎとは思いました。
Well, at least he agrees.
ばあさんはあれこれ余計なこと考えすぎて正常な思考なんかできなくなってる。あのダム戦争で神経張り詰めっぱなしだったからまだその時の興奮が抜けきってないんじゃないかな。だ
Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking. As I could feel the car running smoothly on the highway, Kasai spoke to me again.
シオンさん、ほら。
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishabone City. My hometown is coming right up." Chapter 5, Maekashi. Shion Sonozaki. Keiichi Maebara, Mion Sonozaki, Rika Furude, Reina Ryugu, Satoko Hojo. Favorite little sister there. Satoshi Hojo, Jiro Tomatake, Kyosuke Irie, Rumiko Chie, Kurada Oishi, Mio Takano, Tatsuyoshi Kasai, Akane Sonozaki. Higurashi, when they cry. Kai. So, guess you could say it's when they kai. Like, I don't know. You received a new tip. The notebook's beginning. Alrighty then. First, let us save. Ah, the familiar save screen. How I missed thee. The notebook's beginning. June 1982. Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Watanagashi festival. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hadn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun has been living in dire circumstances. His close friends actually heard him imply he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible, considering that aspect. But the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false. The last possibility is that he was involved in the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. He fell victim to it, and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. So the question is, whose? The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the 3 families, or one of their many relatives. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it? And how did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth all are in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so that the tips of my fingers can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyashiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl. Please help this powerless young girl. Alright. Oh, good lord. This video is normally I would obviously continue further, but I got something to... As you guys saw at the beginning of the video, gotta go ahead and download the winner of the voting poll. And get that up and running, make sure it's nice and ready. That way, tomorrow we can get started on it. Anyway, first off, I am happy that I'm finally getting back into Higurashi. I've honestly missed this. Not to mention, I'm looking forward to hearing more voices, honestly. Yeah, because to be quite honest, it kind of tears up my throat. Even when I try to talk like other people, it kind of gets a little annoying. Nah, really it's the annoying pain, the pain you get in your throat. You have any idea how hard it is to talk like a Wishi for freaking 3 or 4 hours? Good lord. I don't know. Regardless, I'm just glad I'm back into Higurashi, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.